G'day, we're here with the Fiat 500e, and this week we thought we'd put this Italian stallion to the test around Brisbane streets and just see whether it's worth all the hype. Now, the old Fiat 500 in the petrol form was an absolute ripper car to drive. It was fun, it was zippy, but let's face it, it was quite basic, particularly for the price point. Now, this particular one is fully electric and has stepped up into a price range that makes it compete in quite a crowded little segment at the mid to late 50s on-road price. So depending on where you are in Australia, you're going to pay somewhere between 56,000 to 60,000 for this car. That's drive away, on the road, no more to pay, which for some may seem like a little bit of an expensive EV, but it's different. And not everyone wants to drive the exact same car that everyone else is going to instantly reference in my comment section, like every other time that we do a review on any electric car that is priced similar to a certain other brand. So let's start with the Fiat 500. One of the things that I absolutely love about this car is its unique, funky and cool styling and design, including the headlights where you get an LED daytime running light ring around the light, plus this little eyebrow looking thing at the top there as well. Kind of almost makes it have this cute, funky, adorable front end that makes it look like you're about to just have an absolute fun adventure, even if you just go into the shops to get some milk. Front parking sensors and rear parking sensors are standard on this little beast, and they've kept the design of the traditional Fiat 500 in that it's just small, it's curvy, it's rounded, and it's fun and bubbly. So another great little snappy little feature for the Fiat 500. Now, if you're going to ask what can you fit underneath the bonnet, absolutely nothing is exactly what you're going to fit under there, and that's because most of the things that they've packed into the standard Fiat 500 are still underneath the bonnet, minus the small little engine that now is a small little electric motor. So you have a range of about 311 kilometers according to Fiat. However, during testing we've been averaging between 220 to 250 kilometers from each charge. Now, apologies as well today if I start sweating. It is incredibly hot here in Brisbane and incredibly humid. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I can while still giving you a really good rundown of this car. So let's move around to the side. You're going to have some more styling designs there for your LED daytime running light highlights, indicators on the side. You got this cute little design that flows through to the side and some really funky looking alloy wheels. And the great part about these as well, they're actual alloy wheels. They've not gone for a plastic cap sitting on top of a nice alloy. They've actually just designed a nice alloy. So they've done a good job there with that. Moving along to the side, you'll see it's just two doors in true Fiat 500 style. You have remote and keyless entry in and out. Plus you have the handles hidden underneath here. So to open and close the door, you just pop your hand in there and get in and out. Moving around to the back, you're going to have your charging port, and it's a Type 2 charging outlet. So you're going to be able to fast charge at most compatible outlets here in Australia. And charging from 0 to 80% should take you about 30 to 35 minutes. Although a full charge in one of these will take you on most of the charging infrastructure in Australia about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. So bear that in mind. Charging at home, perfect scenario. Moving through to the rear, you have just this gorgeous rear end that is truly recognizable as a Fiat 500. Fiat 500 design tail lights, big Fiat badging there. The 500 with nice little blue accents. In Australia, we only get one spec of the Fiat 500e, which is the La Prima version, which is exactly what this is. In terms of boot space, now, this is where it's a little bit deceiving. It looks like a rather small boot. However, I picked this car up when I was coming back from an airport trip, and I managed to get a very large suitcase into the back here, plus my carry-on and my small carry-on bag. The one trick, however, is in order to get the large suitcase in, that fits flat down the bottom, but in order to get the other ones on, I did have to pop these seats a little bit forward. So one large suitcase is probably where you're going to tap out. If you want a stroller or pram, depending on the size, you might fit it, but make sure you definitely check it out. However, that being said, if you are putting kids in the back of this car, you might want to check the space when it comes to the capsules. Definitely space is a premium in the back. Back seats do fold down. They don't fold flat, but they do fold down, and the headrests do come up from here. So if you do have anyone that is going to be sitting in the back, you can accommodate them and you can make them as comfortable as possible in the back of the car. One other cool thing that is in here is they've left a bit of space for the charging cables. So everything can actually be stored and positioned in here, providing it's folded away nice and neatly. The only downside is the tire inflation kit that didn't have any space underneath there. So the tire inflation kit is in this nice little bag that kind of just sits to the side of your boot. Behind these seats, you have 2 child restraint top tether points, and you only have obviously 2 seats in the back where you can place child seats if you have kids that are incredibly well behaved and aren't going to mess around in those back seats. Let's have a look inside. Moving into the inside, you have these gorgeous man-made seats. So it's not a leather, it's just a hard-wearing vinyl or eco-friendly vinyl. I'm not sure exactly the terminology for it. I got told it was eco-friendly man-made leather, which just sounds fancy word for vinyl seats. But what's been really cool in the design is that I have stitched in Fiat all throughout the seat. So it's a nice little Easter egg from the guys at Fiat. You have the City of Torino up here with your charging pad, which is a wireless charging pad. And you also have little Easter eggs on the door handles where it has made in Torino as well, because that is the home of Fiat. Down here, you have a little storage nook, which has 1 cup holder, which is incredibly deep. If you're storing a large Macca's cup, it's quite difficult to get it down and quite difficult to get it back up without the lid coming off. So make sure you take care there. But it has enough space to store other small little things into here. There's a USB-C and a USB-A charging outlet there, plus a 12-volt charging port as well. You have your drive mode selection just here, and that will give you 3 different modes, including Sherpa mode, which is basically the mode that deactivates every unnecessary feature on the car that chews up electricity, just to get you home or to the next charging station. It will limit your speed to about 80 kilometers an hour, and it will turn the air conditioning off and every other unnecessary electrical device in the car. So probably the mode you need. There is range mode, which is basically the one that applies a bit of e-braking. I found it a little bit jolty and a little bit jittery, so I probably would recommend just keeping it in normal. Normal will still give you sufficient range for 99% of the owners that are probably going to be buying this Fiat 500e. Outside of that, at the front, there is a cup holder that drops down and makes it a lot easier to reach your bottles or your cups of whatever. So that stores down there and folds away nice and neatly. There's a USB port up here where you can also have your phone resting and another one charging for your passenger perhaps. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is standard, and Apple CarPlay is wireless. So you can flick that through on the screen and it is incredibly responsive, both wired and wireless in connection. And you have a little bit of storage in here where you can fit basically whatever you need, or move the armrest further forward or backwards should you need to adjust that. Now, one of the things I will point out that this car has a very generous panoramic roof for a small car. And it also has a blind that does actually do a pretty good job at blocking out quite a bit of that heat during the peak of the day, like right now. In terms of the reverse camera, it's okay, but it's not fantastic. So down here you have all of your switches, so park, reverse, neutral, drive. Makes it super simple to change the gear that you need to be in. But the minute you go into reverse, it's just a standard screen. There's no 360-degree imaging. There's no front camera, no side cameras. It's just a reverse camera. And the lanes, the guidance lines do move though. So it will guide you into your bay pretty well. And that's actually a really good feature there. Steering wheel, it is adjustable both in tilt and in reach, which means that no matter how tall or small you are in this car, you're going to be incredibly comfortable sitting in here and finding the right position for you to be in for those long drives. On the steering wheel, you have your audio controls, you have your radar cruise control, as well as all your other functions such as Bluetooth to answer and hang up phone calls, or if you're using Apple CarPlay, those buttons become the same buttons there. And you have a big digital display directly in front of the driver's cluster here that will give you all your readouts such as your speed, the battery percentage, as well as a range readout, which I quite liked having both on there. And also a little bit of information as to whether you're charging or not charging while you're driving in this particular car as well. So another great little setup, and to be quite honest, I've always liked the Fiat 500s because they were always fun, they were always just funky. They're not for everyone, but they're an absolute blast if you ever get inside one. And the drive on this car being electric, it's instant torque, so it's incredibly responsive, regardless of whether you're going up a hill, down a hill, or around town. It is just so zippy and fun, and it feels like you're part of the Italian job almost every single time you get in the car. So if you want a car that's gonna make you feel fun and excited to just go for a drive, this is the car to drive, particularly an electric car, because most EVs that I've driven are just normal cars. Like, they feel like you're driving just a standard white good on wheels, and very few have their own personality and character, and that's what Fiat has done really well with this car, is actually keeping that Italian essence to it and making it just fun. So make sure you take one for a drive if you are in the market for something like this. Let me quickly show you how to get in and out of the back and whether it's comfortable. Top tip, if you're too tall, probably not the best place for you to go. So come around to this side and let's show you. Now, the back seat, long drives, probably not your friend if you're a big bloke like me, or if you're tall. If you're a small child, it would actually be an all right place to be, is the back of the car. The front seat, when it comes back, I'm very much pushed up against this. I would certainly not feel comfortable being in the back. So it's probably not made for people like me in the back. And let's be honest, most Fiat 500s I see on the road only ever have one or two people, or uno o due persone, if you're Italian. I'm pretty sure I got that right. But in terms of the space, there's ISOFIX ports if you want to be a daredevil and you want to put some child seats in the back here. And look, it's seating for two children, maybe two kind of developing teens that haven't had growth spurts. But if you are an adult, you definitely don't want to be sitting in here unless you absolutely need to. The essence of this car, though, is the driver and maybe a passenger just having an absolute blast on a weekend going for a drive. So with that, let me show you a couple more things and we'll wrap this up. All right, so we've seen the rest of the car. We've identified that it's actually not that bad a car and could be a hell of a lot of fun for the right buyer if you're looking for a small, fun, exciting hatchback that's also electric. Two things I wanted to point out that I missed earlier is you have a push button at the top here to release the door. However, if that was to fail, you do have a manual mechanism down the bottom here that will also release the door. That's on both sides, so you have total peace of mind that in an accident or anything like that, you definitely will be able to get in and out. These materials here, they feel like they're going to be hard wearing, and they also feel relatively soft for a man-made material, but you do have harder plastics at the top and bottom down here, so it's probably a good little balance just there. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a Fiat 500. It's $60,000 almost for this particular car in an electric, and it only has about 250 kilometers of range. But I can genuinely say that I absolutely loved this car in every single drive that I did. It just felt fun, it felt exciting. And compared to a lot of other EVs that I've driven, they haven't really engaged and they haven't really felt fun. Like, I've driven incredibly fast electric cars and incredibly well-designed electric cars that just felt bland, and it felt almost like just having skim milk, you know, whereas this car here still feels like you're having a proper good, you know, full cream glass of milk, your morning coffee, you're having fun, and you're going to be able to go and have a bit of a drive while still saving a bit of money on fuel. And if you're environmentally focused, that you're also going to be looking after any tailpipe emissions that would be coming from the car. So I genuinely think this is actually a really good electric car that you should go for a drive and just absolutely just experience. Perfect for cities, perfect for the highway run to and from the Gold Coast or to and from Wollongong and Sydney, for example. Is it the car that you're going to take between Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane? Probably not. You know, it's a little bit harder on the ride on those longer extended road trips, but it is comfortable around town, and it does exactly what a small Italian hatchback in cities has always been renowned to do, and that is just be a fun, exciting and zippy drive that has a bit of style, a bit of character, and a bit of soul and difference. So go have a look at this car, take one for a drive, and just experience the car with an open mind. So with that, I'll leave you guys with the Fiat 500e. We're going to do some more testing with it next time that we have this car, and we're going to see what else we can get up to with the car. Let me know in the comments if you've driven one, if you like them, or what else you would like to know about them, or any other car that you'd like us to test. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. It helps us greatly with getting new audience and new channels and new car opportunities to review as well. So let us know anything that you need. Thank you.